Well, it's day 2 of All-Stars here in Las Vegas with coverage brought to you by Alienware. I'm joined right now by Hafu, talk a little bit about the TFT event here and TFT in general. So first off, how's the event going for you? What do you think?
Well, I didn't make it through, so I'm a little sad, but it's a really cool event, and I've had a lot of fun watching all the other events going on, so.
What do you think of the littles that they're doing?
It's a really cool idea. I mean, I wish there was a little bit more involvement, like we could play together or something, but Lothar's my partner. I feel bad for kind of bombing it on my end, but I'm sure he'll pull it through.
Yeah. Well, I also just want to ask you about TFT in general and how you feel about the game, especially now that we're in set 2, because it feels like the game is starting to mature now and kind of build out its audience, and we're seeing who's sticking with it, et cetera. So what do you think of TFT, especially as somebody who's played so many other games in the past?
I think it's a lot of change at once, so I think they over-changed things, which is really good for people like me who play every day, but for a lot of casual players, it's really rough. They, spent a lot of time playing a game, and now they're returning to it, and they're like, what is this? I don't know what is going on. So I think they need to, next time, find a bit more of a balance. But for me, it's great. I mean, everything's new, and it's fun, fresh.
Are there any features that you'd like to see them add to the game, maybe in the next set?
Yes, Overflow. So Overflow is a mechanic from Auto Chess, which is what TFT is based off of. And it's basically being able to buy additional units if your bench is full, being able to move it onto the board, and then you have these really cool turns, really intense turns where your whole board, you're like 20 out of 6 or something, and at the end you have to sell everything off. So that would be a really cool one. And also not auto-combining units, because when you combine units, they sell for less. And sometimes when you're rolling it down, you're like, well, I could use this if I hit this other piece. But if I don't hit it, then I don't want this. And then you kind of have to make that decision in the moment instead of, you have to hard commit in TFT.
Yeah, I remember, because the other thing where the auto-combining frustrates me is on the carousel, whenever you have, and it's going to combine, then that combines the item, and you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty frustrating. You have a pair, and then you really don't want the item there, so you have to sell your pair. Yeah. And you're like, but...
Are you still based out of Vegas?
I mostly live in Fort Worth with David, my boyfriend, or dog. But yeah, I still have an apartment here, and when it's event season like now, like we had the TFT Invitational a few weeks ago, we have this now, so we've been mostly in Vegas.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. It's kind of funny because a lot of people are also traveling here. I guess you are traveling here, but it's also kind of like home for you in some sense.
A little bit. I've been here a lot.
Yeah. So is it nice to be back in Vegas and competing at an event here?
Yeah, I mean, competing is so much fun. I really miss it. I mean, I've definitely, I stopped competing and focused on streaming, which is way better. But, dude, it's so fun being on stage and having pressure, and it's fun.
Yeah, do you feel like this kind of path where with TFT it seems like they're taking streamers and competitors and kind of combining it all into one thing? Is that what you'd like to see going forward?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's the best for me because, streaming is ultimately the way better job in esports. I mean, it's, I'm sure you know, competing is very up and down. If you don't win, you don't have any income, you're like stressed out, but streaming is like, it's okay. I bottom 4th this event, but it's okay.
As a streamer, how well are you able to keep up in a game like TFT and be competitive, do you think? Do you think like it makes it worse? Because I don't know if there's pressure for you to try different stuff just to make your stream more entertaining, or...
So Scara is way better at that than I am. I just play to win. So sometimes people complain. I'm like, well, I'm still going to just try to do whatever I feel is best.
So do you feel like in a game like TFT you could do this full-time streaming career while also competing at these tournaments?
For sure. I think TFT is one of those games that you can honestly just high roll, and games like Hearthstone and TFT, when you have like a best of one, honestly you can just get lucky and then make it through.
Given that you've competed in so many different games and you've been in esports even way longer than I have, what do you think of TFT when you look at it in terms of its future and what they can potentially accomplish over the next couple of years?
I think it just depends on what they're trying to do and what kind of audience they're trying to captivate. If they really wanted a league and the best players, I'm not really sure how many people would be interested in watching that. I really do think that in today's day and age, you kind of need a mix, right? You kind of want to watch names that you already know, names that you can cheer for, and while still having it be competitive. But I think luckily a lot of the streamers are really good at the game, and I mean, I think almost all of us. Okay, most of us finished Challenger last set. Scar and I finished Challenger, and usually when we're really into TFT, we climb to the top of the ladder. So,
Well, is there anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
just thank you so much for your support. Thank you everyone who roots for me on G2. And thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. And by the way, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at It's Hafu or on Twitch at It's Hafu.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. Looking forward to seeing you at the next TFT event, hopefully. And for everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things All-Stars right here on my YouTube channel. Happy holidays. Please subscribe to my channel, seriously. If you don't subscribe, influencers, we literally survive off of the validation you give us. And not enough people have been subscribing. In fact, only half the people that watch my videos have subscribed, and it's breaking my heart. Also, go check out alienware.com/Travis. There's a link in the video description below. This beautiful Alienware notebook. Look at it. You can get it too. You can get it for somebody you love. You can ask for it. The holidays are upon us. Happy holidays.